Hello everyone and welcome to another State of the Game. My name is Brian, if you happen to be new here, and we are talking about the state of New World because if you have not seen the numbers, New World is on the upswing, which can only mean we've entered into the season of hype. But it's not just about hype here at the channel. We're going to break it down. We're going to dive into the numbers. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. We're going to talk about why these numbers are very accurate and why we're going to see New World really start to excel here in season 10 as we kind of really settle into a yearly big update cycle, a big hype cycle for the game. I couldn't be more excited, and I do want to share the good news. If you guys have not seen, season 9 actually is coming to an end much sooner. It was moved up from the end of October to October 6th. So this looks like the start of season 10, whether this is a paid expansion or not, is coming sooner than expected. So I'm really excited about that. But also in a bit of fun news, Amazon reached out to me directly and they said, hey, we want to send you something, but only if you promise not to open it until a specific date. And they said I could actually do that live on stream. So if you guys want to find out what this is all about, what's in the box, what does the box look like, I'll be happy to sit down and show you. I just can't until the set time show you what's inside the box, and I won't know myself.
What's in the box?
Now, things are starting to heat up with various leaks coming out about season 10, and again, we don't know if it's going to be a paid expansion or a free expansion. However they do it, it's going to be very telling as to what the strategy for New World Aeternum will be going forward. So I'll be breaking all of that down as soon as we know more. But if you guys just need a refresher, season 10, new zone, new raid, procedural expeditions, I'm personally really excited about that one, end game progression system overhaul, next gen umbrals, set bonuses, attributes, save with gear sets, and customizable HUD. And they say beyond, new weapon. So that kind of tells us, and this kind of seems to confirm with the leaks, that daggers are coming. We'll talk a little bit more about that, as well as a list of things like raid difficulties, new PvP mode, zone up levels, new heart runes, endgame reputation systems, pickup wars, and crafting global storage. Now, there's one thing on here that is not yet as a part of the in development and beyond. It's in exploration, the account-wide progression. That's something that's going to mean a lot to me personally. That's going to be something that is going to give me more investment both into my console character and also into my main character. So one of the things I just struggle with is I'm kind of a one character guy at the end of the day, and I'm tip of the hat to those of you who level multiple characters. So my Xbox character is roughly sitting out there fairly early, and reason ends up being is that if I sit down to play, I kind of like to play my main character. However, if I could continue my Xbox character on my PC and vice versa, I think that would make it more advantageous to me, being that I just still have so much that I want to do in the game. Just kind of makes sense. But let's talk about the new map. The new map is kind of rumored to be to the left and or south, north, south, east, west, southwest of Brimstone Sands. I'm looking at the image here, and you can kind of see it circled here in this grayed out spot. I think it's truly interesting to see. I cannot wait to see how that goes. I do wonder if there'll be other entry points into the new zone. As you can see here, it might bump up against Ebon Scale Reach, which I think will be really freaking cool. Also, from the leaks, it looks like the level cap is increasing. And again, I'm going to constantly advocate for, once you're at level cap, give us something that XP is worth, not just with the seasonal XP kind of, I guess, transition. Give me something that is filling up that bar that gets me excited about going and doing those quests and grinding on mobs and cutting down trees. That's all I really need. That's like beyond the account-wide progression, and the things they've already listed are wonderful. That is my addictive loop, right? And I harken back to Final Fantasy 11, which I've been playing and streaming, and thanks to all y'all guys who are showing up for those streams. I love merit points, man. Like, I just love them. They're crazy. It's stupid. Obviously, they have power there, but man, just give us something to do with that XP. Let it continue to flow. Then you would see all these XP buffs and bonuses that you've kind of accumulated zone to zone have even more value over the life of your character and the game. Anyway, I digress. The other thing we wanted to talk about was new daggers. They've shown off a couple different skills. I personally am very excited for daggers. While I typically don't play in these kind of assassin style classes, this has been one of the things, the missing archetypes that I felt like New World has been missing for a while. Now, I'm going to go out and say I'm going to continue to advocate for more casters, more But we do know it takes a long time for weapons, and we do know from the roadmap, even more weapons are going to be on the way in the future at some point. But I think what's really telling is that the daggers might not be here with the start of season 10, or even with season 11, where it's the Winter Forge, because that's what they did with the Void Blade. And I thought that was actually a pretty smart strategy. You get people to check out the stuff, you get them excited, and then, oh, now new weapon. Now it changes all the things. It adds a lot more to it. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. Are you excited about, the new weapon possibly, and or you want it day and date? You want it or rolling them out over time? Does that help? Love to hear your thoughts. Now let's dive into the reason why most likely you clicked on this video. Like I said, New World is doing incredibly well. If we take a look at just the last 4 months alone, starting in May, we've seen some positive growth. Going into June, seeing a little bit of a dip. Obviously, when that comes down to other games, June tends to be a pretty busy month for a lot of people in summer. But then with July and now with August, we're seeing a 13.4% increase and a 27.5% increase on top of that just over the last 30 days. Now, what does this translate to in terms of the monthly active users? This is obviously just on PC, so just kind of keep that in mind. However, I do have some console information we'll break down, and I'll show you guys how we estimate based off of that. And we tend to be very accurate when it is all said and done. So you can obviously, I always do my math for you. So what does it look like when we look at the active average players? We take a 7 to 11 multiplier to get a range of 42,000 to 66,000 MAUs. Now, this might not sound amazingly 15 million players, yada, yada, yada. But those are hype numbers. That's something that any MMO player who is an active MMO player and an enjoyer, will tell you. It's like, yeah, hype is a hell of a drug, but it will fall off, and then you kind of establish your base community. Now, that was for July. Now, if we look at the last 30 days, it is now up from to 58K to 85K as the range. And if we look at I always like to look at the numbers in terms of hours played. You can see 5.6 million hours played. Now, if we just go off of those hours alone, factoring in the average play time for gamers, which is around 7 hours, I upscale that to 10 hours a week because MMO players do it longer. I think that is a decent, style in that regards because it ends up being more accurate. However, that gives us over the last 30 days, over 142,000 players have been playing on the PC version of this game. But it doesn't stop there, because now we have consoles and play. And this, I think, has been a huge benefit to the gaming community. Now, these numbers are, again, a fraction of the total numbers. And I'll show you guys some games in comparison so you can kind of get that gauge. Roughly speaking, I always kind of think of it as 1/10 of the player base has these being reported on these different trophy and Xbox achievement tracking platforms. That being said, obviously this is professional estimates, to say the least. But all that being said, let's dive in. You can see PlayStation, they have the game listed at 6,000 owners and over 197 recent players. So you think about that, factor that as a 10 multiplier, and you'd get a much clearer number. According to Xbox True Achievements, they have a roughly around 12,000 players, which is double what PlayStation trophies currently is reporting. But all in all, what's interesting about that is PlayStation has this game on PlayStation Plus right now, and it'll be interesting to see if it ends up coming to the Xbox Game Pass at some point. However, maybe they struck a deal. I've been seeing a lot of you guys coming and checking out the game who have been playing it on PlayStation. So welcome to the PlayStation community. We're glad that you're here. Now, let's compare this to another really popular MMO that's also on consoles and PC, and that's Final Fantasy XIV. My alma mater to a degree. That's where I spent the majority of my time before leaving and coming more to New World and to other games specifically. But Final Fantasy XIV over on Xbox shows roughly just under 7,000 players have been reporting that. Again, multiply that by 10, you're going to get a clearer picture of what's going on there. And then if we look at the PlayStation, it's got 43,860 game owners, but we know that's a small fraction of the total player base that plays console. All that is to say is that these numbers, I think, are really strong, all things considered. And I think that as they continue to push out updates, these numbers are going to continue to go up. And as long as people are having fun, and as long as the devs are continuing to push out updates, that is going to be key. Now, the ultimate question will always be, are these paid updates? Are these free updates? we'll know, I think, soon enough. We'll find out what's in this box when it shows up. We're going to figure it all out and have a fun time regardless. But thank you guys so much for your time. Usually like to do kind of a message of hope at the end of these videos. Unfortunately, I do got to run out, but I am loving you. I am praying for you. I really hope the best for you. If you guys are struggling, feel free to get a part of the community. If you need somebody to talk to, it's not just in these videos that I try to leave these messages. It's also as a part of just what it means to be a dude, and ladies are welcome too, but like in this modern era. And video games, I think, are a really great thing and a really great way to bring people together. I just want to make sure that we continue to help each other out. Our fellow strugglers, we're all in this together. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll either see you in game, in the Discord, or in the next video, but regardless, just have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care.
'Cause this world keeps on turning, and Ginger said it ain't dead. Chopping green wood like my granddad shoot, skilling up to 200. Town board dinging, purse strings singing, encumbered shuffle thunder.